Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 3 Yards in a Cloud of Dust NFL podcast. I'm your host, Josh, and with me, as always, my co host, Jonathan.
Hi, guys.
So, we got some interesting stuff to go through today. Unfortunately, our first couple pieces of news are of the sadder end of the spectrum. And that first up, former Washington football team and Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Colt Brennan has passed away at the age of 37. Brennan is responsible for breaking several school records and several NCAA records during his time at Hawaii. Brennan was drafted in the 6th round by Washington in 2008, and though he impressed in several preseason starts, he never took a single snap in the NFL regular season. The official cause of death has yet to be released, but from what ESPN has received a statement from Brennan's father suggests that it was caused by an overdose on something laced with fentanyl. It's tragic to hear something like this.
Yeah, and he would definitely been a good backup, and this is just really unfortunate that this happened.
Yeah, well, from what everybody was saying, I don't really remember him too much. I think I remember a passing remark about him being with the Raiders. He wasn't even there for the roster in the regular season. He was only a practice squad guy for the Raiders. But he had, like I said, he had several preseason starts with Washington, and he looked pretty good. He looked like to be an answer to some of their QB troubles at the time, but it just never worked out. And it's unfortunate. He was essentially out of the NFL within 3 years.
Yeah.
So, but it's still tragic to hear.
No one really gave him a chance.
Yeah, it's still, when you lose somebody that young, it's just tragic.
Yep. Tebow Cohen, a twin brother of Chicago Bears running back Tariq Cohen, was found dead on Saturday. Out of respect for the family and ongoing investigations, we will not be commenting on the details of the incident released so far. Cohen was 25 years old, which is really, really sad.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of both of these young men. It's really tragic you've got one guy who was 37, the other one was 25. It's just too young for people to be losing their life like that.
They're still really young. They still had a lot of life.
Yeah, so once again, thoughts and prayers go out to the families of both of these young men.
Yeah. Now on to better news.
Yes.
Cornerback Jason McCourty has signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins.
He's a solid player. He's been kind of declining over the last couple of years, but I think he could still...
He's definitely one of those players who can teach the next set up.
Yeah, I think he can easily be it. Well,
and kind of be out there with some of the new guys to kind of help them around the ropes when they need help.
Yeah, I think it's more of a depth signing than anything else, but...
yeah. But having that veteran presence there will also help.
Yeah, that'll work out well.
Because they did pick up a few new guys too for the back of the defense.
Yeah, they have
the secondary of the defense. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Next up, we have former Saints tight end Josh Hill has retired after a 7-year career. Hill was released from New Orleans on March 3rd of this year. He later signed with Detroit on March 13th, but was then placed on the reserved retired list just a couple days ago. While he was never a huge part of the New Orleans offense, he was a solid option for Drew Brees to look to. He had sure hands. He, whenever something came his way, usually was caught. It usually was, something you could count on. But he never, like I said, he never really had a big part For his entire career, I think he had about 1,000 receiving yards and only about 15 touchdowns. So, like I said, not a huge part, but he was a solid option.
Yeah, definitely. And then we have the Raiders who have released safety Jeff Heath. But that's not really too
I'm not
surprising
surprised at this one.
because they had a lot of safeties and they picked up, 3 different safeties in the draft?
Yeah, one they're most likely converting to a weak side linebacker, but the other 2 will most likely be safeties. And then, of course, you already had Jonathan Abrams, and then you have the return of Carl Joseph. So
that's that's already like 6 safeties right there.
Yeah, he basically became expendable. So, he was never he was never a huge part of the Raiders defense anyways. He was mainly there, because they were hoping that maybe he could be something special, but he was more there to be a depth option last year, and he never got any significant playing time. So, I'm not surprised about that at all.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. He had some decent years with the Cowboys, but his better years are behind him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Steelers have released corner Trevor Williams.
Which is surprising because he is actually...
He's still a young player, so it is a little surprising to see them let him go, but apparently they feel that they're ready to move on from him.
And whoever picks him up will definitely get a good vibe out of him, and hopefully he can be in that starting lineup to show what the Steelers couldn't use him for.
Yeah. I don't think I've, been able to, I don't know what his stats are. I don't know, where he is in the league compared to other corners. I haven't heard his name talked about too much. I know I've seen him in games like Madden, and he's rated towards the mid-level, but I don't know how true that is to his actual stats.
Yeah, because we never really actually get to see him play.
Yeah. And of course, my cousin, who's a diehard Steeler fan, I haven't heard him comment on it, so apparently he's not that important.
Nope.
Oh.
But then we have the Buccaneers who have re-signed quarterback Blaine Gabbert, who now... But here's the thing. The Bucs now have 4 quarterbacks on their roster now.
Yeah, and it's just for show. They might keep 3 at the most. Obviously they're going to keep Kyle Trask, who they drafted. They're planning on him most likely being the future, being trained up by Tom Brady, and then, when Tom Brady decides to call it quits, it'll most likely be Kyle Trask's team.
Yep.
For, as long as he can hold the job. But
yeah, if Kyle Trask can take over for Tom Brady and Odell ends up going over there, that would be funny.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But
no, I don't think so, but I'm just
with
saying
Blaine Gabbert, he's had time. Obviously he was a first-round draft pick with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Never really had any success with them. He had some mild success with San Francisco. He's probably just going to be another career backup.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Colts have signed former Chiefs left tackle Eric Fisher to a 1-year, $9.4 million deal.
Which is a good pickup on them.
Yeah.
Because Fisher still has a lot in the tank.
He's in his 30s. So, I don't know how much longer he has left, but typically offensive linemen can go to their mid-late 30s before... they have to call it quits.
Yeah, but I think this will be a good pickup for them, and it will strengthen that left tackle spot.
Yeah. So, another piece of news on the Aaron Rodgers front. The Denver Broncos have stated they will aggressively pursue Aaron Rodgers if he becomes available. Now, there was a lot of course, last week we had that big old discussion on the whole drama between Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I had also mentioned, too, that the Denver Broncos had actually made an offer on the first day of the draft to try and get Aaron Rodgers.
And the head coach said no.
Yeah, Green Bay said no. But it's sounding like things are not getting any better in Green Bay. And we both said they're probably not going to. They're most likely irreparably damaged. Whether or not that means Aaron Rodgers is going anywhere is another story, because obviously, even if Rodgers would retire, he would still be under contract with Green Bay for at least a couple more years. Plus, I think I'm not exactly sure how the whole restricted free agency thing works. I don't know how that whole process would work, but I think the Green Bay Packers would have some control if he were to try and retire and then unretire to try and go to a different team. I'm not exactly sure how that process would work, but
I did see yesterday that for like a potential trade that could happen, that I don't think it's gonna happen, which I think you'll agree with me on this one, for a straight up trade for Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen. Just because the Seahawks run a completely different style of offense to what the Green Bay Packers run. I mean, yeah, the whole Rodgers to Metcalf hookup would be kind of nice, but I don't know. I'd sooner see DK Metcalf in a Green Bay jersey than I would see Aaron Rodgers in a Seattle jersey.
Yeah.
Not that I mean, at this point, I don't care where Aaron goes, but
He's kind of trashed his career at this point.
I mean, I don't think he's trashed his career. I think he's just completely destroyed whatever image he had left.
Yeah. And then
Here's one that's really surprising. Go ahead.
This one's just funny. This guy went from a QB to go and play in baseball. Now he's coming back to football. It's Tim Tebow. He's expected to sign with the Jaguars as a tight end.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some players' conversions. Like, I've seen some other QBs become wide receivers, or wide receivers become running backs, or I've even seen running backs switch over to the defense or something like that. But this one's a new one.
But you have a quarterback that goes into being a pitcher, a relief pitcher, and then coming back to football.
No, he wasn't a relief pitcher in the MLB. He was an outfielder.
He was an outfielder relief pitcher.
Oh, okay. I don't remember pitching.
Yeah, he actually did a couple games where he did a relief
Mind you,
pitch.
he never made it to the MLB, so...
No, he was only in the minors.
Yeah.
But on other words, the Jaguars already have 5 tight ends on the roster.
Yeah, he would make
So
6. Holy crap.
He wouldn't actually... This would actually make it where he would not have played in the NFL since 2015, but he has never played as a tight end. I don't even think he played as tight end in his college days.
No, he never played tight end in high school or in college.
So this would be the first time he would be coming in as a tight end.
Yeah, now there is some news coming out of Jacksonville saying that Urban Meyer is actually really impressed with the workout that Tim Tebow had with them. So I don't know what to read into that. I don't know what the hell Urban Meyer is doing anymore at this point. Like, we all, expected him to draft Trevor Lawrence because he was the presumptive number 1, and,
But
that
now-
turned out to be correct. But it's like, what the hell?
But now,
Why Tim Tebow? You've already got better tight ends. Like, you've got proven tight ends on your team. Plus, you drafted one.
they may just want to see what he can do in the preseason.
But it's like, okay, I understand
And if
that.
he actually does impress.
And I do understand that this would be a
actually-
reuniting of Tim Tebow with Urban Meyer because
Yes.
Urban Meyer was his head coach at Florida.
And that was the main reason why he wanted to go to the Jags.
But why tight end?
Because he already knew the Jags were always going to be drafting Lawrence. So he's like, hey, I don't really have the ability to really do much to take over that young guy's spot. Let's go tight end.
Yeah, and I mean, but most guys, when they try to switch positions, they're usually in their, early to mid-20s. And it's because the first couple of years in the NFL, they're, whatever position they went to start with didn't work out.
Watch.
But Tebow's 33.
Yes. If tight end doesn't work out, watch him go to wide receiver.
No, I don't think he would. I think if for some reason it doesn't work out, he'd just better retire and just go away for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
maybe in a few years after that, come back as like a coach, like a quarterback coach. Well, I hope you didn't come back as a quarterback coach because he wasn't a great quarterback either.
So, but it would definitely. This is definitely going to be an interesting look if they do sign him.
Now, to be honest though, like if he came back or if he was trying to come back and he said, he wanted to come back as a fullback or something like that, I could understand that one.
Yeah,
I could see that one.
but as a tight end,
Yeah, that's just really, really weird.
that's outside the box for him.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
He was never super fast. He was never, he definitely didn't have the greatest of arms.
But he might have the strength now. If he has a little bit of strength, he might be able to play it.
The only thing I can really see them trying to do with this situation is maybe try to utilize Tim Tebow as almost like their version of Taysom Hill from the Saints.
Yeah.
But, honestly, I don't see how that is going to work. I've never seen Tebow play any other position but quarterback, and like I said, he wasn't that great to begin with.
Yeah. So
He was great at the college level, but college is a whole different beast, especially, and you got to figure too, he had a 3-year career in the NFL, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was like 3 or 4 years. But so you got to figure that if he hasn't played since 2015. Then you figure 3 or 4 years before that, you're talking, 2009 to 2011 in college football. That's a whole different beast than college football today.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be interesting and seeing if he actually does play in the preseason to see how well he plays.
Yeah, because he's got 5 other tight ends to try and compete with. You figure they'll most likely keep 3.
Yeah, and I think he would be able to be in one of those 3, but I don't think he would be the starter.
And I guarantee you 2 of those spots are already taken. And I don't know of any team that keeps 4 tight ends because most teams have 3 tight ends and a fullback. Sometimes they go 2 tight ends and 2 fullbacks.
Unless they're gonna go and use him as more of a decoy as an extra tight end.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely not going to be a Gronk.
No, if he ends up being a Gronk, that would be funny.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
But on other words,
yeah, the only other piece of news we have for today is later on today, the NFL will officially release the 2021 schedules for all 32 teams.
which should be interesting.
Yeah, there's already been some leaks on some of the matchups. Like, we pretty much know what the Week 1 matchups are going to be. But other than that, it should be interesting. I know the one that we're really looking for is that Raiders-Dolphins game in Las Vegas.
Oh,
Because we want to go see that one.
That one's going to be a good one.
Like, if we can get tickets to go see that. I've been looking at that End Zone Club. It looks really, really nice. And they're offering some deals, too, to get some people to go. So we might actually have a decent chance.
Awesome.
Okay, so in our discussion tomorrow, we will be breaking down some of the most anticipated Week 1 matchups. Probably not going to go too in depth, but we'll give our, we'll talk about them a little bit, and then we'll give our predictions on who we think is going to come out on top in those Week 1 matchups.
Yeah.
So join us tomorrow for that, and for today, that's about it for the news and updates. We thank you for joining us. We hope you continue to join us. Until the next one, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.